Hi, my name is Jason Sanders. I'm Managing Director of Flycast Executive Search. And today I'd like to share with you the fifth of 5 questions that I consider to be the worst questions that you can possibly ask in an interview. And this comes from this report here. You can download this from our website. This is actually a statement more than a question. And this is, what you might ask a candidate in an interview. Tell me about yourself. Now, this is not a particularly awful question, but it is definitely problematic. I've had people say to me, I like to ask open-ended questions. And I understand this, but I'm going to share with you a better one after I explain why I think this is bad. The reason why is this is a past-focused question, and it's so open-ended that it allows your candidate to answer in almost any way that they want. And when I've asked questions like this, I've in many cases gotten life stories. So I said, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your career. Tell me about how you got here. They're all kind of the same question. And a lot of times what I'll get is somebody starting, I've had people start with high school. I just have had people start with grade school, particularly if they went to a private grade school or something like that, right? I mean, I'll actually hear about that. Hear about college, you hear about their first jobs and so forth. Sometimes you'll get people that really do answer the question well, but you get a narrative. It starts in the past, it comes to the future in a lot of cases, and it is not something that you will necessarily want to listen to. So, among other things, you tend to bring out one of the worst traits that I've found candidates make in an interview, one of the worst mistakes, which is to overtalk the interview. And with this, you're setting yourself up to have to listen to that. So you really are not doing your candidate or yourself a service in asking that question. So what do you ask instead? Or what do you say instead? Because this is also a statement. Tell me about your current work situation. Or you could say just, tell me about your current situation. Now that is how I start almost all of the interviews that I conduct. And the reason why is just like the previous one, it's an open-ended question. And I like open-ended questions. Open-ended question gives us a lot of information to go on. You can take maybe a part of the answer and start to drill down, or you kind of get a sense of the person. You can relax a little bit in asking that question. And mostly what I do is I prepare the candidate before I ask the question. I kind of sell them on the position. Now, I'm a third-party recruiter, and so I really need to, in many cases, sell my clients' value proposition, make the career case, if you will, before I ask the questions. And the reason why is that a lot of my candidates are passive candidates. They're not looking for jobs. And so I need to kind of do a little bit of selling up front. By the time I get to this, it's nice to relax a little bit, let the other person do the talking. The other thing is it's a present focused question, where the other one was focused on the past, saying your current situation. While it is open-ended, it's going to get somebody to tell you generally about one of two things. One is what they're doing now, and one is what they want to be doing now, both of which are really critical things to know when you're interviewing, when you want to hire somebody. In order to make a decision, you really need to know both of those things. And that kind of a question or a statement brings that out. Tell me about your current situation is going to get somebody talking to you about what it is that's happening in their organization, or maybe about a project that they're working on, all of things which are very valuable to you and being able to explore that person's candidacy. Or they might say something like, well, I'm happy in my job, but I'm not completely satisfied. I'm thinking about doing other things. And then you can start to pick up information that could be useful to you in selling the candidate on your organization later on. Because in many situations, a candidate will have multiple offers or multiple options while they're interviewing for you. And by understanding what it is that they're thinking about in terms of their next step, you will be able to address any concerns or basically make the case for why your organization is a good organization to work for, assuming that you want to hire that candidate. So again, if you would like all 5 questions, please go to our website, download this report.